Are we live? Hope you guys can hear me. We had some trouble getting on here. I know that it's quite interesting anytime we have an election year. I mean, it's 2024. We've only got about, what, 8, 9 weeks until the election. Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, they're going at it. And last election time, it was the COVID pandemic, right? And, there were riots, there were all sorts of wild things happening all around us. And I feel like this year is no different. I don't think it's quite as bad as the 2020 election, but 2024, it's a different kind of animal. And this is the first election that we've actually seen a presidential candidate nearly be assassinated on live television. And it looks like plan A for them, if you understand what I'm talking about, failed. And all that did is not only did Donald Trump survive that one, but he also garnered a much bigger, way more supportive base. So it completely backfired for them. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys have been hearing in the news. Let me know. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but there's this situation taking place at a Georgia high school, Apalachee High School, and I know that they're probably going to try to pin these situations on a particular political candidate, maybe try to pin the situation on the political candidate's policies or ideologies. I think all of this is going to ultimately end up being one of Kamala Harris's debate angles, as she is scheduled to debate against Donald Trump in the near future, in the next couple of days, actually. But what was going on over at Apalachee High School in Georgia in Winder County is just awful. And regardless of what your perspective is, it makes it very difficult for parents to want to go to work and to make money and to generate the household income that we all need to survive, to, pay our mortgages and our rent, utility bills, car payments, credit card bills, whatever the case is. When you have your kids going to school, ultimately ending up in situations that cause them to have to be in a lockdown situation, because certain people, certain characters want to misbehave. And we have very little details on the situation, depending upon, where your perspective comes from. I mean, I'm already seeing things coming up on Twitter. People are asking, well, where was this active shooter from? They're asking, what is the nationality? Is the active shooter an illegal immigrant? I mean, these are legitimate questions, but none of this information has actually been shared with the public just yet. However, it has been confirmed that unfortunately 4 people didn't make it, and there have been a number of folks that have been airlifted by helicopter over to the Grady Hospital. And that Grady Hospital, it's top of the line, from what I understand, facility in the Atlanta metro area. And so this is definitely serious, guys. There's footage out there showing that the entire school has essentially been evacuated out onto the campus. So there's parents there, there's FBI, there's local authorities, sheriff, Georgia Bureau of Investigations, there's Georgia State Patrol out there, and they have essentially evacuated the school out onto the high school football field. And so basically you got all these folks out on the high school football field. They believe that they have the suspect apprehended at this point. So the authorities have indicated that they don't think that this is a ongoing situation, an ongoing problem. But I think it's rather interesting that this took place in Georgia. And here's one reason why.
Vice President
and before you hear this, I want you guys to tell me why you think that this is happening. Comment down below. Why do you think that this is happening in Georgia today? I think you guys may have a clue as to why, but I want to hear from you guys on why. So comment below.
Kamala Harris launched a 2-day swing through Georgia today. It's her 7th trip to the state this year, and it ends with a rally in Savannah.
Now, before we go any further, the question I have, and I don't even know if you guys were able to see that because I just realized that I'm not actually sharing my screen. So let me share my screen. View tab. Hopefully you guys are able to see this here. But yeah, let me know what you got. By the way, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. But take a listen to this here.
Vice President Kamala Harris launched a 2-day swing through Georgia today. It's her 7th trip to the state this year, and it ends with a rally in Savannah.
Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump spent the past 24 hours posting across social media platforms, including various grievances and conspiracy theories. Laura Barone Lopez reports.
Now, of course, they want to attack Donald Trump for various reasons. But my question for you guys, and I want to see if you guys, let's see, great cover on the football field. Let's see, gotta love crisis actors. I mean, it's wild, guys. It is absolutely wild what they're allowing to happen here in our country. And again, you know, for patriots, they're gonna see what this is. This is nothing more, in my opinion, than an attack on the Second Amendment. I mean, they're already attacking the First Amendment, and they've been doing this for a long time. But what it also represents is it represents an attack on the Second Amendment. And let's see. Okay, cool. Thank you for confirming that you can see me. Awesome. Great cover on the football field. Gotta love crisis actors. Sick of the government knocking people off to boost political events. And this is exactly what it is. Thank you, Dope Aquatics. You're seeing this for what it is. This unfortunately, you know, they leveraged our kids to push the agenda. Do you guys see this? Again, like I said, this happens every political season, and it's like, okay, who is going to be the sacrificial lamb in order for them to make a point? And that's what really gets me. That's what really irks me. Now, you know, a lot of people, a lot of, you know, the political art, advertisements and whatnot want to paint Donald Trump as the aggressor. And this is not at all, in my opinion, what Donald Trump is about. Let's hear from Donald Trump himself to hear what he is about.
My vision is for a middle class that is once again the envy of the entire world. It's going to happen. It's going to happen fast. Thank you. Workers like you and communities like this should be able to afford a nice house, a new car, and a growing family on a single income, all while enjoying the highest standard of living on earth, right? Thank you. Americans deserve safe streets, secure borders, great schools, healthy children, bustling factories, and a nation that is confident and a nation that is strong. That's the future that I intend to deliver, and I will deliver. And you had the best economy in the history of our country just a short while ago.
And the thing is, and I'm with you, Ernest Osborne, who's basically saying that you're not going to say my kid can't have a cell phone. Can you imagine if your kid was in school? And hopefully none of you guys' kids are in school right now, or at least in the Apalachee High School in Winder, Georgia right now. Because if you were trying to reach your kid today and they couldn't have a cell phone, I could imagine like how the parents would be feeling right now. Like I'd be losing my ever-loving mind right now, trying to make sure that my kid's okay. And so, you know, there's this fine line between protecting our kids, making sure that they focus on school, they're not being distracted. But there's a very, very fine line between that and taking cell phones away from kids. Again, barring communication. But again, and I totally get it. You don't want the kid, on their smartphone, on their Apple phone, on their iPhone, on their Android, Samsung, S15. I don't even know what number they're up to right now, messing around on Call of Duty or Minecraft or Roblox when they're supposed to be paying attention to algebra. I get it. It would be a distraction. You don't want kids playing on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook when they're supposed to be paying attention to world history. But at the same time, there's got to be a way to protect our kids and allow them. Okay, now this is a good suggestion. So maybe you get rid of the smartphones and you allow the kids to only have a flip phone in school. And really, with the old school flip phones, there's no games on them. So, that would make it for communications only. Maybe that's a solution. I don't really know. Do you guys have a better solution? But I mean, this is real, guys. This is real, but the thing is, with our border situation here, the way it is right now, can you imagine if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz got their way? We could be seeing situations like this, high school lockdowns, middle school lockdowns, helicopters constantly surveilling over these schools on a more regular basis if we lose complete control of our southern border here, guys. And so this is why I argue that this 2024 presidential election could very well be the single most important election of our lifetimes. And it's really, really concerning to say that, but I think it's true. So Harris was briefed on this school situation here in Georgia, according to the White House, talking about Kamala Harris. Vice President Kamala Harris was briefed on the school incident in Georgia before she departed for Joint Base Andrews for New Hampshire today. So, so Kamala Harris is in the know. The thing is Kamala Harris going to make a visit? Is she going to speak about this at all? Because here we had Donald Trump at the Veterans Memorial just the other day, and basically Kamala Harris and Tim Walz campaign team attacked Donald Trump for being supportive of our fallen soldiers. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, they don't have time to visit. So I wonder if Tim Walz and Kamala Harris are actually going to maybe say a word for the families, the parents, the kids involved with this Apalachee high school incident in Georgia today. That, I mean, just some kind of acknowledgement. And here's the other thing. This is likely going to be one of Donald Trump's talking points, because this is another incident that has taken place on Kamala's watch. Okay. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden's administration, they're still in office. Now, granted, Joe Biden, he's been on vacation for probably weeks now. We haven't even seen this guy in a long time. Last I heard, he was on Rehoboth Beach, just kicking back because he's no longer campaigning to be president for the 2024. So he's not worried about getting impeached. There's only a couple more weeks left, a couple more months left. I mean, I feel like Joe Biden at this point, he's pretty much like, hey, this is the last couple of months in school. I ain't doing nothing else, just pretty much almost quiet quitting at this point. Joe Biden is effectively sitting in the White House, or not even sitting in the White House. He's in Rehoboth Beach. I forget what state that is. I think that's Delaware. But anyway, he's on the beach, quiet quitting, because he's done. He's effectively just riding out the clock as if he were, a very strategic Tom Brady at the end of the NFL football game. But I mean, this is the reality, folks. And folks are like, looking at Kamala Harris as a potential Democratic nominee, as a potential president of the United States, and they're ignoring her policies. They're ignoring her policies. They're ignoring the policies that are going to get us all killed. To be honest with you guys, I mean, can you imagine Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, they get in office, and I know you don't want to imagine this, but it is what it is, right? So imagine they get in office, they lie to us, they end up still taxing tips, so the middle class continues to be decimated by the economy, by inflation. They hand out $25,000 home buyer checks to people who are not even citizens of the United States to allow them to buy homes. So this further exacerbates inflation. This makes home prices, home values go up even higher. Okay. They leave the borders wide open. We have more situations like this at Apalachee High School, more high schools on regular lockdowns. And I think they like these lockdowns. I really do think that they like these lockdowns, right? And can you imagine? She attacks. Can you imagine a Kamala Harris, Comrade Kamala Harris, attacking the Second Amendment, getting Americans to turn in their guns, or even forcefully taking Americans' Second Amendment right away and confiscating guns, firearms, protection, and all at the same time removing guns from lawful citizens who have a legal right to own and carry. Meanwhile, the border is wide open, allowing all sorts of criminals and mental institution releasees out into the United States. I mean, this could be the worst of all worlds. So here you have Americans whose Second Amendment right has been removed, and now they can't protect themselves. And then you let all the criminals come into the United States, and also drive up inflation, drive up home cost of living expenses. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Chris C says, I never saw a lockdown a Democrat didn't like. Let's see. Let's see. My break is almost over. God bless. Love you. Tell Squirrel Tribe too. Appreciate you, Ernest. Thanks for checking in, my man. Tim already commented on it, then proceeds to tell jokes immediately after. Are you kidding me? Are you telling me that Tim Walz commented on the situation here and then told jokes after it? I truly hope that is really a joke. But anyway, guys, this is the situation. This is America. Is this the America that you want to bring your kids into? Is this the America you want to raise your kids in? Seriously, guys. Anyway, if you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Take care.